Hi guys, it's Geekonomics here. So today I'm going to look at the introductory page with regard to the GCSE pre-release stimulus material for the Paper 3 exam. So in my previous video I talked about where you could find this particular stimulus material. Now let's get stuck into it. So this particular page, it's pretty unlikely that you'll get asked any specific questions with regard to the content. This is more a kind of setting the scene type of page. However, even just by reading through this, we can pick out some of the distinct and clear topic areas which are most likely to be examined in the summer exam, Paper 3. And as I keep saying and stressing, Paper 3 of course is the most heavily weighted of the three papers that you do, 50% of your overall mark. So let's just have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Changes for the world economy. Is economic growth sustainable? With world trade growing more slowly since the global financial crisis, there's a lot of economic uncertainty. As a result, the level of protectionism. Protectionism, ladies and gentlemen, this whole notion of preventing goods and services from coming into your economy, that's one form of protectionism, or giving your own domestic producers a competitive advantage over foreign goods so that people prefer to buy your goods rather than foreigners' goods and services. And consequently, that's a form of protectionism also, such as subsidies, for example, or deliberately lowering the value of your exchange rate. Protectionism also. This has contributed to a slower rate of economic growth in the world economy. Remember, economic growth as shown by the change in the level of GDP, gross domestic product. The World Trade Organization, the WTO, promotes free trade. So this whole notion of the World Trade Organization, by its very name, trade, it's obviously something to do with trade and movement of goods and services between countries, imports and exports. But the World Trade Organization obviously aims to promote free trade and the removal of these barriers to trade, which we would refer to as protectionist policies. In 2016, reported that 20 biggest economies in the world were introducing new protectionist measures at the fastest rate since the financial crash in 2008. And some people would recall this, ladies and gentlemen, this notion of more policies, deglobalization, so becoming more insular. Globalization is opening up to the world. Deglobalization is what President Trump is doing, is trying to roll back and rein in from that. The rise in protectionism is explained by countries suffering from worsening current account balances. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, current account deficits getting wider and bigger by value. And again, obviously you're thinking to yourself, all right, if that's the case, how could protectionist policies be used to alleviate this? Or is a current account deficit always a bad thing? These are the types of things which I'm sure are going around in your mind. So that's the sort of first section. Then you move to the second section. For developing economies, worsening current account balances are not the only serious problem. Poverty. So now you're thinking, all right, absolute poverty. Relative poverty. How do we cure poverty in this country? So we have pensions, we have safety nets, we have national minimum wage, we have child benefit, we have all these types of things. Unlikely that you will have such things in an economy such as Zambia, for example, or sub-Saharan African economy. To deal with poverty and achieve sustainable economic development, developing economies require sustainable economic growth. Should maybe have underline that as well, ladies and gentlemen, this whole notion of sustainable development and sustainable growth. Is it possible to grow today without using up all the natural resources of the world? So that's a notion of sustainability. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it in a nutshell, to be honest. These are the key areas which are going to be assessed in the exam paper based upon this stimulus material. So now in the next series of videos, it's my job to go through the relevant theory with you and then to come up with what the likely questions will be in the exam paper. Okay, thanks for watching everyone. I'll be back again with figure 1, which will be the next video, unless I consider maybe some of the theory first. If you want to contact me, obviously, as ever, just contact me via the website, geekonomics.co.uk/contact, and I'll do my very best to get back to you. Bye for now.